Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and so I was going over the charts of the major indices, and I think we are looking at a very exciting upcoming week here in the stock market, and I want to explain to you guys why. So the first thing we're looking at right here is the SPY. SPY is essentially the S&P 500, and so right here what we're looking at is a long-term pattern that we've been trading in the SPY since about August of 2020. And so what I want to mention right here is that we actually clawed our way right back up, and now we are sitting above this pattern. And so that is actually quite significant because we had a scare right here when we broke down from this channel, but we did use that 50-day SMA as a line of support. And so then we bounced back up, and we did have some few scares here, but now ultimately we are sitting above this point. Why do I say that's so significant? Because these are all-time highs, which means that there is no overhead resistance. So the SPY looks very bullish right now. We are sitting above a longer term pattern, and we could potentially be ready to break out, but we need to go further to see if that actually is the case. And so the second index we want to look at here is the NASDAQ. You can see NASDAQ on the daily time frame. We were trading in this pattern right here since about November of 2018. We recently broke out, and now we are in this range. And on a technical basis right now, if we can break this line of resistance on this upper trend line right here at around 145, we will be at all-time highs with the NASDAQ, which means that there is no overhead resistance. So if we're looking at both indexes right now, we had the SPY clawed its way out of the channel, sitting on top, no overhead resistance. We're looking at the NASDAQ sitting at near all-time highs, could potentially be on the verge of breaking out as we are sitting so close to this line of resistance. We have been consolidating, and we did treat this bottom line here as support. So our next test is to see if we can break above. And again, there is no overhead resistance, so that's another bullish sign for the second index. And so we have two bullish setups right now on both SPY as well as the NASDAQ. And we also have a bearish setup on gold, which does back up a bullish scenario for the markets. And so if we're looking at gold on the daily time frame, we did get rejected here by our 200-day SMA as well as our 50-day SMA, which is very short-term bearish. And now we are continuing our downtrend in this slight channel. This channel has a conclusion near the beginning of April, and so because gold got rejected by those two SMAs and continued their downtrend, that puts more buying pressure on the stock market because the chances of inflation go a little bit lower because gold is not breaking out just yet. It goes inverse, so if the gold market is up, the stock market tends to be down. And because gold is still settling in and still on the downtrend, there still does seem like there might be some upside left to squeeze in the stock market. And so that is the third thing that I wanted to look. And the fourth and final one, if you guys have been watching my channel, you guys know that I love my volatility index. And so right now we're looking at the VIX on the daily time frame, and with the VIX, since this crash, we have been trading in this wedge pattern, and this wedge pattern lasts for a couple years. But on the short term, we did get rejected here by resistance near the end of January in 2021. And then we came all the way back down. We got rejected by our 50 SMA right here. We broke down, and now we are actually sitting right underneath our channel. And so that is very bullish for the stock market, because whenever the VIX goes down, that means the stock market is going up. And so if we do break this line of support here on the VIX, I do think that is going to lead to a nice run up in the overall stock market. So the next couple of days are going to be very crucial to see how the market plays out. If the VIX does claw its way back in here, we should expect to see some corrections in the market this week. But if this does bleed down even further, that would mean that the markets are starting to hit even higher highs and more all-time highs. And so we're looking at very bullish setups overall in the indexes, and we're looking at very bearish setups in gold as well as the VIX, which do play in the favor of the stock market. And the thing with the stock market is you have to be on your game constantly, because everything changes in the blink of an eye. We could wake up tomorrow, have a crazy red day, and both the SPY and the NASDAQ could go from looking bullish to completely bearish with the blink of an eye. And so it does happen that fast. But because markets are closed, I can only gauge on what I'm looking at. And so as we're right here in the moment looking at these setups, they do look bullish in the overall market for a shorter term run. And so we'll continue to monitor the situation to see how this plays out this following week. But I am very excited to see how this all goes down. So if you guys enjoyed this quick little update on the overall markets and why we could be short-term bullish in the overall indexes, feel free to hit the thumbs up on this one. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I will see you guys in the next one.